Hi, everybody, welcome. I'm going to speak of three things today, okay? And I'm going to paint the flag on the tree, on the cake. When do I begin which?
Begin right now, and I want to tell you that Tammy is here, and Tracy is here, and
Hi.
Julie is here, and Kent is here, and Eddie says, "You look beautiful, Hetty," and Eileen says, "Hello, magnificent Hetty," and Ken from Puerto Rico, loud and clear. John Terracuso says, "Hi, Hetty, hi, Ken, hugs from California." We are ready to go.
And I am sitting here grinning like a Cheshire cat. What is Cheshire cat?
Isn't that from Alice in Wonderland?
If anybody knows, someday let me know.
Yes, if anybody knows that reference.
I
Nancy
know.
Rowley is watching.
I know in Snoopy, in the cartoons, it's a big grinning mouth with teeth.
Right, yes.
Okay,
Sorry, folks.
tell me when to begin.
Go for it.
Okay, first of all, I do need to finish one of the wonderful things that happened on the trip I had with Joni when we went to Hershey, Pennsylvania, to see our friends the Mennonites. And I have to tell you about the one restaurant which I will never forget. In the Mennonite Amish world, the food is fabulous. Maybe because they're all farmers, pig farmers, vegetable farmers, but they understand. I want to tell you about this dinner. We went there. The place is called Under the Maple Trees, The Shady Maple Story by Marvin Weaver. Okay, I'm not wearing my glasses. With Chord? No, I need glasses. God forbid somebody writes and you can't say their names. Okay, Marvin Weaver with Sean Smucker. Okay? I have to tell you about this. You go in and you pay for a meal. Let's say you're 7 people. You pay for 7 meals up front. Nobody asks you what you want. And then you go into this amazing building which has tables and tables and tables with the glass cover so that flies don't fly in. And when you pass one which has salads, you don't have to hurry because the next one, 3 further down, will have the same thing. So you cannot stop. And you eat, and you eat, and you eat, and you eat. And then, as a New Yorker, I'm used to having leftovers, and they'll give me a container and take it home. The menu says, eat as much as you can eat. But if you take anything home, it's called shoplifting. So only take what you know you can finish. I have never heard that before. Somehow, I ended up with 3 desserts and went back again and ate the things that are healthy and went back again for more desserts. And I was able to eat everything. And I looked at other tables and there was so much food, but there was not a single full plate when we left. People had scraped everything from that table. From their plate, because you can't take it home. And we were quite a few people, friends at the table, and nobody stopped after the first plate. They kept going back. And after dessert, they would have spaghetti. And I have never felt so loved and welcome by plates which are waiting for me. Okay? Now I'm going to change the subject because I have been realizing, and I'm going to paint while I'm talking so that you can see the flag, which I love that you suggested. It was Amy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Who said put a flag there.
And you're going to talk about Dr. Taubman and your arm, too?
About what?
Dr. Taubman and your arm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll start about that. Okay. Kenny said, but this is very important. Did you see how I changed the tables? Okay, you're gonna have to come here. You see, I had a tablecloth there. And when I painted, because I painted when you're not here, see, I made shading. I put blue tones in Amos's black outfit. And I thought, where in this place would anybody have a tablecloth? And so I painted a wooden table, which immediately made the surroundings of this cake different. Mm. And then I took this blonde girl. There was too much yellow. And I picked, what color do I need to carry to the front? And so I gave her this. But what I'm still going to do is, the chairs are too big. So I think I'm going to have her standing because this might be too much. I don't know. I want to show you the joy of oil is that you can go right over it. Okay? So, as I tell you about this, over here is going to be Dr. Taubman because there's no room for people here anymore. But Kenny said to me, Mom, doctors are not able to tell you what you need because they're not used to 94-year-olds. I'm going to get you a doctor who works with old people. And he brought me a miracle. You won't know until you see him because there's no room here. If I smuggled him in anywhere, Kenny would disown me. So he's going to have to be this guy. And his wife, who is a dentist, retired dentist, is going to be riding there next to him. I learned that if you approach Kenny correctly, which means learn to listen, he makes sense. Okay? So, let me tell you about Dr. Taubman. Kenny took me there. Oh, by the way, if you love him, don't worry, he doesn't accept any more people. He said, I can't afford in my time to put more people in. And he said to me, Hetty, I'll keep you for 6 years, then you'll be 100. I can't afford to give my time otherwise. But what you have to do, if I take you as a patient for those 6 years, you're going to have to know that you're old. You are old. Then repeat it again. Don't forget that you are old. So use it correctly, not negatively. Use it because you lived this long. Do whatever you want to with it, but realize it. Because maybe you'll value it more. Maybe you won't value it. That's your job. But remember, you are old. And it's true. It's true. So let me start painting
You want
as
to
we...
talk about your arm?
About my arm.
About how you talked to your arm after he said that?
Yes. What I did was, I talked to my body, especially my arm, because I need this arm. And the reason I'm training it is because I want to put this on an easel again, so I wouldn't have to sit at a desk and put little noses in, which is difficult. So I talk to it and I say, look, you're old, but that doesn't mean you're useless. Here's what you do, Hetty. If your arm is shaky, move this so that you can hold it. It doesn't work? Okay. Figure out a way in which your arm is happy. How can it be happy? You have to invent a way with an old arm to make it listen. So, let me do the flag. First of all, it needs to be an American flag, because I'm happy to be an American, even though I hate our politics in a lot of ways. On the other hand, I don't know any country that is better at it. Okay. I hate to do what I'm about to do, but I have to do it. I have to ask Kenny how much time I have left.
Like 16 minutes.
Okay. Okay, I have so little time, which is a lie because I'm only 94, and I don't have to only paint when you're here. I can paint and tell you about it, but I do want to do it while you're here. First, I need to break through the patterns of the sleeve, and I have this brush. Now, flags should wave, right? Amy, who came up with this idea of putting a flag there, do you approve? Why can't I have two flags? It's our painting. Right? And I could use a shape like that. Thank goodness the American flag is not boring. It's got stuff. See, this is going to help Sherry's sleeve, because I can carry the white there.
Meanwhile, Patsy Rowley is watching. Amy Lauren says Kenny was right. It's Alice in Wonderland. Julie says love you both. Christina Dionas is watching. Janine is watching. Dory Lee says a shout out from Hetty and Dean Graciosi in the same day. Best day ever.
I love it.
And Barbara Wakey is watching. Janine says hi Hetty, hi everybody. And sorry, I missed that, folks. I was in the wrong place. And John Taracuso just gave encyclopediabritannica.com link to the Cheshire Cat. Fran Rosenberg is watching. Sandy says, love you, Aunt Teddy, from Ismail and Sandy. Julie says, I love envisioning this all-you-can-eat feast. Eileen Cutler says, wow, you had multiple desserts and then some spaghetti. Love it. Michelle Carvalho is watching. Kathy Lahan Cawthorn says, you are young in my eyes. Tammy says, what a privilege to be old.
It is. It is. It is because I need to be much older. And if I don't admire the age, it's not going to stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I do this? And I can't add more stripes, right? That's not permitted. So I will have to put the... Remember, even though the red now sheds when you're not with me and it's dry, then I can beautifully freshen up the colors that are turning into mud, because I want this to be a gorgeous blue.
Let me say that Tammy says, what a privilege to be old, yes. And Dina says, what a beautiful revelation to embrace you as you are. What a positive, upbeat outlook. We love this, Doctor. And Dory says, everyone gets to be young, but not everyone gets to grow old. And Dina says, or 6 years with this doctor. And Kathy says, I say young because you have a youthful spirit and I love the way you giggle. And Amy says, only a fool would argue with the master, Hetty. And Sandy says, you have seen so much in your life. You are an inspiration. Love, Sandy and Ismail.
How could I not grow old if I'm lucky enough to have all of you as friends? Now, you know what? All of us know that a flag does not look like what it is because the wind curves it and the wind does things to it. So the idea of having a flag on the cake gives me freedom, like the freedom of being old. Okay? In other words, if you look at a flag on a flagpole, everything moves. So I'm going to decide how this flag is going to be in the wind, which means I can change it continually. I only wish we had a medium that could dry faster, because I would love to put a little stars in. Okay, if you don't know what I'm doing, cheer up, because I don't either. Because there's just so much that material will not do. So nothing is to stop me, because I'm not that old. I intend to be alive tomorrow. And it won't be dry tomorrow, but I'll be able to make blue where it glows. I promised Kenny that I would talk about what I'm deciding to do. I found out I love to exercise when I'm watching TV, but TV is geared towards stupidity lately. Maybe it never was different. Maybe I was just as unknowing until I began to watch Channel 13, PBS, the children's programs. See, the children's programs teach. I was watching the other day where they were teaching children how to write a postcard. And they explained in detail where you put a stamp, where you write the note. Oh, now let me show you. This is going to become a pure blue with little stars on it. Then I'll worry about the red. But at any rate, I thought I would like to use my Monday nights to teach what getting old gives you. Because I found I've become so familiar with my body that I can speak to it and teach it what to do, and it answers me. And I would like to begin to teach you that. Not what I learned, but what you have to learn from your body. If you're trying something too hard. Oh, by the way, do you notice I have no idea what I'm going to be doing? Right? I just know I want this to swoop, and it's not going to swoop until it's dry. But I have wonderful rags, and what I first thought would become stripes are going to become a beautiful blue. And a rag can help me, but mostly this can help.
Let me just say that Sandy said, Denise Taylor is watching. Sandy says, we all need to come see you soon. Also, Joni and Ken too. Miss all of you so much. And Dina says, I honestly believe that with all your friends and your amazing family keeps you so healthy and loved, always by your side. And Laura Silver is here. And Dina said about you talking about how to communicate with your body. She says, yes, we are all ears. And Marcia says, you give us all such pleasure watching you. It's absolutely mesmerizing. Thank you for sharing.
Well, next week, you're going to see these colors allowing me to do what I want to. Because look, just imagine when this becomes white.
Mom, you're getting another request that you could say more. Laura says, I want to hear the heady body talk. Anything you want to say about your experience with talking to your body and communicating with your body, or anything you want to share with everybody about that?
Yes. I do it constantly. Suddenly the skin, which I used to love to look at, has become bumpy. So what I did with this one here, suddenly disappeared. And I said, I badly want to get rid of you. But if I do, it's going to get bloody. I guess I'm going to have to wait until you dry. And I'm waiting. And if I put makeup on top of it, it can't heal. Right? Because it doesn't get air. And so, as Dr. Taubman said, I say, I'm old. And I thank you for being with me.
Do you want to say something about how when you had the lupus, you would talk to your knee?
Yes. Yes. There came a time, a very long time ago, a good 40 years ago, when I woke up in the morning and there was a ringing in my ears. And my body didn't seem to belong to me. And I went to a rheumatologist because my body was not mine. And he didn't know. He didn't know. He gave me medications. Nothing helped. And then I met Dr. D'Angelo. Dr. D'Angelo worked with incurable diseases. And he said, you, my dear, have something we call lupus. And nobody knew what lupus was. This was long ago. And I thought the only way I can cure myself is to learn to understand my body. Kenny, what I did, I wrote everything up. I would like to begin next week because it's a long story. I learned to communicate with my body until it told me where I failed. And I can just give you the gist of it, which was, stop rushing. You don't know how to handle time. And I would very much like to use next week to take the paper that I wrote about lupus. Yeah.
And just to say, for those people who don't know, she was wheelchair bound. She could not cut through an apple with a knife, the skin of an apple with a knife. She was so weak. And she's been in complete remission for over 50 years. This Dr. D'Angelo actually wrote a paper about her, or included her in a talk that he gave, because she's been in complete remission from an incurable illness.
I remember touching my knee and saying, "What have I done to you? What did I do? How did I get you like this? What did I do wrong?" And now we get a verification. That awesome solar telescope, the James Webb, shows us that there are living beings that were supposed to be dead, but they're alive. Planets, which we thought are no longer alive. We now have machinery, that telescope, which shows them living and producing. Do you know that everything is constantly producing more stars? In my case, things which keep my hands moving. It's time to say goodbye. Next week, I don't think Kenny can be here, but I will be here. And I will read how I cured myself from lupus. And I'll need the whole word which I've written. Lupus erythematosus, whatever it is. I don't have to remember your name to love you. Okay? Thank you for being mine.
Oh, let me just tell you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you didn't tell me the comments.
Yes. So Penny Pinsky Ellis is watching. Paula Lokshin says, sending our love to you all from Puerto Rico, and a little Puerto Rican flag too. And Amy Lauren said, it just went away on its own, meaning the lupus. So you'll have to talk about that too. And Amy said the power of positivity was the answer. Amazing. Tracy says, we are not surprised how amazing Hetty is. Dina says, wow, Dr. D'Angelo writing about you. You were not going to let lupus take the steering wheel. You took the wheel. Penny said, wonderful news, always so positive. Kathy said, see you soon. Julie said, love you both. Thank you both. Love you. We love you too. And Sandy says, have a good week.
Bye, I love you all. Until next Monday. To see you. I love you in between.